I'm super excited to share the next section or two, which deals with an incredibly essential question, an issue which is raised in the Mesilas Yesharim, and I could have waited till the end of the Perek to bring it up, but I specifically wanted to bring it up now in the middle to give some perspective. And at the end of the day, for many of us, Olam Haba is something that's far from us. And a lot of what the limud from Mesilas Yesharim of the first Perek is trying to make that more of a reality to us, and to be real with that, and to understand that that's what you have to work towards. Just like a real estate developer builds a house, and it could take 9-10 years until he flattens the old house, and he gets the building rights, and he builds the foundation, and builds up floor after floor, and puts the electricity in, and the pool, and the gym, etc. Gets investors until finally sells the apartments. It could take easily 9-10 years, but he's working towards it because he understands I'm putting in $3 million now, $4 million now, because it's turning into $15-16 million. And everybody understands that. And probably some people don't have the zitzfleish, they don't have the capacity, the patience to do it, but they end up with smaller projects and not the big money that some of these big developers get to. So too, we have to become big developers and realize we're developing the biggest, most greatest thing there is, which is Olam Haba. But at the end of the day, right, for us it's challenging. And that's why I want to say this piece, which on its own stands, but also helps deal with that issue. And besides other things, it also relates to two psukim. We have a pasuk in Tehillim Lamed Daled, which says, Tis'anig al Hashem. Person has to take pleasure in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then we have a pasuk in Yeshayahu, which says in the future we'll get pleasure in Hashem. That's more a famous pasuk in Yeshayahu Nun Ches, which are the famous psukim, which some people even say in ventures list it before Kiddush. Some people say 3 prakim before Kiddush. Some just say Zachar, some say Vishamru, and some even say these psukim. Tashi Mishavos Reglecha Sos Chavtzecha B'Yom Kachi. Karata l'Shabbos Oneg L'Kadosh Hashem Mechubad. For reference also to Yom Kippur. V'ki badatem asod drachachem imtzo chavtzecha v'daber davar as tisaneg al Hashem. Then you'll have tisaneg al Hashem. So we had one pasuk in Tehillim which said tisaneg al Hashem have hana. Then we have another one which says as tisaneg al Hashem. So is it happening now or is it happening later? Okay, so I'll tell you the big question we're dealing with now, friends. And it's a big question, and it's been dealt with by other mechabrim, but the source I'm going to share with you is both extremely authoritative and very clear, and gives us a whole different goalpost in our Avodas Hashem, and where the study of this first Perek should get us to. Here's the question. We've seen, right, and we'll continue to see over the Perek, that this world produces stuff in the next world, right? Every mitzvah is producing the next world, right? Now, one could have said that there's an inverse relationship. What you do down here doesn't have to look at all like what it looks like there, but these are the actions, these are the pulot, which one does in order to create his reality then, right? For those who know, just a little cultural reference, when I was younger, there was a movie called Karate Kid, and in fact, my rebbeim in high school even drew on this movie because they thought there was a very important lesson in it, and anybody who remembers it, there was a high school boy, and he wanted to get into karate, and he was studying by a Japanese master, the old Japanese short person. Maybe his name was Mr. Miyagi or Mr. Miyagi or something like that. I'm going to call him Mr. Miyagi, and please don't be offended, or if I didn't say it right, no one should have any tightness on me. Okay, so he says, Mr. Miyagi, I know you know karate. I want you to teach me karate. So he says, no, whatever. And he says, his day job, Mr. Miyagi, has a used car salesman. Okay, and he says, okay, go clean those cars, but you have to use this motion. You know, when you put the wax on the car, you have to make the car wax on, then you do wax off, and for those only hearing the audio, you use like a circular motion to put the wax on, and use like an opposite circular motion to take the wax off. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Okay, kid doesn't understand. Why is he telling me to do this? And he keeps doing it. And I don't know if it was after many hours or even many days, finally says, like, what's going on? This old Japanese geezer's taking advantage of me. I'm sitting cleaning his cars and I'm not learning anything about karate. And he goes and complains. And then, one of the key moments, Mr. Miyagi throws a punch at him, and he used that motion and he stopped the punch. And he realized that everything Mr. Miyagi had been doing was to put into him this motion. But here's the point for our discussion. As young KK was working, he had no idea how this was producing a result. And in fact, he complained about it, right? And only then was he revealed. And it could have been in Mr. Miyagi's grand plan. Maybe it was supposed to only come out at a later point in time. We don't know. It's fictional, so you can say it however you want. Right? So it's interesting. People get moved by stories that they could make up the end anyway. But okay, right? So that's Mr. Miyagi. So now perhaps that's how Torah mitzvahs work also. We're just doing stuff, right? Obviously, we're fixing our midas down below and all that, like we learned from the Sefer Chinuk for sure. But in terms of our life, it's not that we're not living Olam Haba at all now. We're just doing things which are producing for ourselves Olam Haba. Or maybe we're supposed to be getting a tima, a taste of that world in this world. Okay? That's the chakira, that's the question we have. So this comes from Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Sher. For those who don't know, he was the son-in-law of the Alef of Slobodka. He was the Rosh Yeshivah in Slobodka in Europe, and he founded the Slobodka Yeshiva, which goes on until today, in Bnei Brak, which that's the home of, when I'm making this video, they should live and be well. Two of the Gdolei Dor of Dov Lando and Moshe Hirsch are the current Rosh Yeshiva, and Gedolim Amish, and that's Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Sher, okay? So this is from his sefer called Leket Sichos Musa, which is not a sefer you always hear, but Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Sher was a very, very important person, and many people worked with him. He was an Anam Gadol Ma'od, a very great man, a Gadol, etc. And he was the Alter Slobodka son-in-law. So here he doesn't mention his son-in-law, but I'm going to read it piece by piece, and it might even take us 2 sessions to get through this, because I think every word here is gold, mamish. It's not so well known, and just anybody who wants to see it, it's in Leket Sichos Musa, Chelik Gimel, Kuf Kaf Ches 128, okay? And I have it from another sefer called Sichos Sam Mislobodka, a section called B'Ksirat Omer, okay? But I haven't seen this in that many places, and I ran into this really a wondrous little kuntrus in the middle of the sefer, and I got so much about it, and I'm excited to share with you. Man ne'eman v'tzodkim divrei Rabbeinu. How ne'eman, how trustworthy and how correct are the words of our Rebbe, the Alter Mislobodka of Nosson Tzvi Finkel. Shai Omer, Sha'avoda v'achana b'prosdar, the preparation and the work in the prosdar and the foyer of this world, tzricha liot me'ein chayei trachlin. It has to be olam haba. In this world, you have to be getting. It has to be like the trachlin. It's not just the foyer is here. It's the foyer is ugly and backwards and perverse, and you just do a lot of pulot, and through those pulot, you're going to enter into the trachlin le'or b'orachayim. No. The trachlin, the prosdor, the alleyway, the foyer, the anteroom is part of the binyan, and the life in the foyer has to be me'ain. It's not going to be the same, but it has to be me'ain of what you're getting to in the trachlin. The cave in shechai trachlin l'sanig Hashem. And friends, what is that about? That place is the place of l'sanig Hashem. Shechai trachlin l'sanig Hashem yisborach v'lehenad meziv shchina. As we've been saying, the ultimate pleasure of connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Havoda v'atikim b'prosder tzrich liot ke'ein zos. That's how it should be over here. V'chol ha'avoda l'Hashem yisborach b'kiyam ha'mitzvos v'amida nisayin. All that we do in doing our mitzvahs and in nisayin shezeh seder achana b'prosder. That's what Mesilas Yesharim tells us and will continue to tell us in the first Perek. Is all about that. Shezeh seder achana b'prosder tzarich sheyeh b'tanug v'idum al Hashem. Biskabrus al kol mafrim merikshon agela. I have to read those words again. Tzarich sheyeh b'tanug. It has to be with pleasure. V'idon al Hashem and geshmak. Biskabrus, getting over al kol mafrim merikshon agela. Wow, the Alter just changed our whole experience. It is not enough that we just do mitzvahs begrudgingly or unhappily, or even neutrally, without feeling and regish and joy and simcha. It has to be that what we're doing in this world mirrors what we're doing in that world. And that world, it's a world of Tanuk, and this world is a world of Tanuk. Now, let me just say at the beginning, the Altis Levaka is the first one who would tell you, if you don't feel Tanuk, of course you have to do it anyway, right? If you know, I don't really relate to the Salach about a but anyway, that's an Eved Hashem. And you're an Eved Hashem, and you do it without understanding, and you put your nose to the grinder, and you keep going, etc. But the idea of Shver Zayin Yid, it's difficult to be a Yid, and this is what we do. This is what we have to do. This is what a Yid does. We suffer. We get fired. We don't enjoy ourselves, and we daven, come on time, leave on time, etc. Davening with kavana, keep halacha. But our life is flat, no vie de jour, no joy, no effervescence, no ilan, nothing higher, nothing more merumam, nothing enjoyable about it. That's not it. Besides the fact it's bad for chinuch habanim, it has to be their feeling. And it's amazing what it is, not just in the mitzvos, in the mitzvahs itself, and even in the midah b'nisayin. When I stand in a nisayin, when I stand in a challenge, there's something which is challenging to me, to be nice to my spouse when they're a little bit difficult, to be friendly to people who I don't see eye to eye to let go of grudge I have with people, not to look at things I shouldn't look at, not to eat things I shouldn't eat, not to say things I shouldn't say. All those feelings of nisayon, and a nisayon, almost perforce is uncomfortable. There's an aspect of nisayon which is uncomfortable, but you have to find in nisayon a point of pleasure. If it's the midah b'nisayon, stand in nisayon, what a geschmack. That, I didn't look at something I wasn't supposed to look at. That's made olam haba. That's olam habadik. That's unbelievable. It's gavaldik. I could dance right now. I'm so happy. I'm filled with rikshay tova. Our davening. Now, there's a lot more to go here, but I want to just stop here and explain a little bit. That means there's a new goalpost for us. Our goalpost used to be, let me keep Shulchan Aruch. Let me do what's right. Outstanding, amazing. Ein Kadosh Baruch Hu mekapech sachar kol beria. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't take the schar of anybody, of anything. Every little tnuah, especially today, is worth so much. True, and it's difficult for you, and you're doing it amazing, but that's not enough. That's not enough, and it's nice that it's not enough because we want more. You're davening. I don't enjoy davening. I don't want to go to davening. I said to the Talmud in my Ishtar days, David, we all know that most people would rather go to a movie than daven. He says, not me, Rabbi. I would really rather daven. He's got it. We're supposed to find joy in davening. We're supposed to be enjoying, of course, joy in learning, right? Many people find joy in learning. Those are good at learning, enjoy learning a lot more than davening often, right? But you wonder why do people don't daven Pesukei de Zimra? How come they're leaving davening early? How come they're coming late? They don't see it as something they enjoy. Something they have to do. Something they have to do. I come late to. I leave early. Something I enjoy. I get a geschmack out of Pesukei de Zimra, singing to the Yerushalaim. Zmiris, wow. People like that. I want to be involved in that. Right? Chesed. No, I have to break my midas. I have to be nice to people. I'd really rather stay home and not do anything. Never have any kesher to people. No. You have to enjoy. You have to get a geschmack out of reaching another person. You have to get a geschmack in Ahavas Yisrael. You have to get geschmack in being part of a community. Geschmack in being part of a family. Geschmack in chinuch habanim, right? Chinuch habanim, but an excellent example. So some people chinuch habanim is learning with their child is uncomfortable with them, uncomfortable with the kid. And I will tell you a secret, which people know more about chinuch habanim than me. Experts say it's not always the best thing for the father to learn with the kid. But if it's going to be an uncomfortable, unenjoyable experience for you, an uncomfortable, unenjoyable experience for your child, so maybe you should have someone else learn with your kid, right? You have to bring out the geschmack. Let's look at this Rashi together. Let's look at this Tosas together. Let's understand this line together, slowly, okay, a little bit, right? Sitting with the Shabbos and family. If this is true about everything, how much more so about Shabbos, which Shabbos is supposed to be Me'ein Olam Haba. It's a challenge for many people, including me, to find the joy in Shabbos, to find the simple. Simple in food is one thing, but to find the simple in Shabbos. In Shabbos, what's the nakud of Shabbos, the tefillas of Shabbos, to enjoy Shabbos. It's anyway Me'ein Olam Haba. It's anyway a more relaxed time. It's a happy time. To find the simcha in it, to find the owning in it, the sanig al Hashem in Shabbos. That's what we have to be looking for. Yom Tov, for sure, right? And we have to embrace the simcha shemitzah and embrace it, not just as another thing that we know that simcha shemitzah is something I'm supposed to do, but that's what my life is supposed to be. My life here is supposed to be mirroring the life of above. I'm supposed to be reaching and touching and feeling and affecting and sensing a little bit of Olam Haba. Again, as Mesilas Yesharim will tell us, there are a tremendous amount of things that are keeping us away, and there are a tremendous amount of challenges. And a lot of the world outside doesn't look like Olam Haba, for sure. for sure. But I'm not satisfied with keeping that my status. I want to get to the sense where more and more I'll be Misaneg El Hashem. I want to be feeling that in all areas of my ruchnistic life. That's my goal. That's where I'm not satisfied till I get there. Like everything in life, step. It's far from us. Excellent, no problem. Where you are is no problem. It's only a question of which way you're going, right? I know that chesed is something I really don't like doing now, and I'm going to do it anyway. Ani abdecha ben amasecha, terrific. But my goal is Lisanei El Hashem. I want to get to the point where I find an owning in it. This is supposed to be olam habadik, right? So too by other things. So this is a great place for us to stop. I look forward to continuing and sharing more of this amazing and very, very important and basic yesod in the very next session.